guys. How we doing? I think I'm in the wrong party. I don't know if I was meant to show up at this party. I'm in the wrong room.
Wait, Spencer, have you seen Updog today?
What's up, dog?
Not much. How about you?
Oh, you got me! Oh my god, that was amazing.
Oh, never fails.
That was good. That was Victor got you.
You got me good, man. Got me.
I think it's Victor.
All right, so Mr. Rodden out. Oh, jeez. All right, Bud. All right, you know who you are. The guy with the updog joke. How do you pronounce your first name? Is it with the V or with the double V?
Ravdanovich.
How do you say your name?
Ravdanovich.
I know Polish names. I played The Witcher. Yeah, Bruin. Guys. How are we doing on a Monday? Give me a 1, a thumbs up, a shaka in the chat if you are feeling good on a Monday afternoon. Getting the week started right. You're drinking your caffeinated beverage of choice. You've got the right music. You've got your crispy clothes on, feeling good. If you're like Spencer and you're a long,
What was that for?
I didn't do that. It's swear to God.
Wait, pull up the thing. What did you drink?
Oh,
DP.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you're into DP, let us know in the chat.
You just took yourself off this thing for a second, and then.
Sometimes I just click things and see what happens. That's how I live my life.
Okay. Yeah, die DP for the win, all the way.
All right, Tiny Pie. Thank you. What's up? Just want to say, Baron, always just want to say your feed is one of the best out there and the best music too. Bunch of ones. Thank you, Toronto.
Chad, elbow call for you.
Got you. Still getting wrecked by Myrna. Then get out. What's going on? Why are you sticking around? Why are you sticking around in a relationship?
Someone didn't set a stop loss.
Yeah, what's the deal with it? Let's just open it up and get an idea. Hold on. So my thing's a little bit messy because my Bollinger Bands. You guys know I like to go to the Bollinger Bands. Let me pull up my screen. You guys know I'm a Bollinger boy, as you guys should be as well. Bollinger people, whatever. I hope I'm not getting in trouble now. It's looking a little bit messy because I had to redesign my Bollinger Band. I'm taking a look around the apartment. I'm thinking about making some changes. But I'm going to get that out of here. Palantir with the sell-off, with the return, letting us know that previous resistance is now support. All right, babies. Let me go down to the 4-hour here. Let's get a really good look. This candle is what I want to know if we broke up at all. But nonetheless, look at this. Look at it. Look at it. Imagine me grabbing you by your face and sticking your face into this chart and then kissing you on your forehead and going, look at it. Holding up on the VWAP. That's the green, guys. That's the green line there is the VWAP. The purple is the 10-week exponential moving average, Bruin. Out the door. Cheers, Shelly. Hey, Proton. Have a Diet Coke. All right? We're going to get through it.
Maybe get frisky with it and a Diet Dr. Pepper.
There you go. Man, this is such a mean sell-off on Palantir, but we're holding those support levels. I want to see a break above what we stamped previously, 24.24, just above this obvious resistance, right, guys? We want to see a break above that. You can see I got my little price alert right here. As soon as that happens, I'm going long. Tiny Pie, that's a good pro tip. Did we click that at the same time, Aaron?
We did.
Yeah, same brain. I'm liking Palantir. We've had people on the show that are not drinking the Palantir, but I'm telling you guys, let it steep for a little bit out of this round and bottom, all right, and just fill up a nice cup of Palantir. That's where I'm at on that one. Guys, follow up on who got into the options or into the calls with us last week. It was Friday. We bought Friday calls on Starbucks. Give me a 1 in chat or anything. Give me some indication in chat or in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you got into the call options that we bought on Starbucks last week, Baron, my man. Baron, so you know you got to at least 20 right quick. 20% right quick. Let's go, Rangers. Big shout out to Captain Cappy, dog with the toupee, for telling us to take a look at Starbucks. We got that young bounce action. All right. Why did we get the bounce action? Because we got our V-shaped reversal in play. Now, I could have still been holding these calls today. I sold them this morning because you know what? Double-digit percentage, I take it. And then I move on to the next thing. Oh, STBC. All right. I see you. Congrats. So congrats to everyone that made that trade. That was just a damn good one. So maybe we can find some more today. So I want to take a look back at Unity. So guys, I think we got dip buying opportunities. All right. So I'm looking at the 1 hour on a lot of these. I do want to see some very clear V-shaped reversals. But we're hitting previous resistance. All the lines that I drew on these charts before were based on these support levels. So sort of this would be a little bear flag before this thing kept going down. So if you were in Unity, you'd be like, oh shit, here we go. Oh, it's bouncing up. I might get in. And then you'd be wrong. And then it would go back down. But this support level has turned into resistance here on the other side of our rounding bottom / head and shoulders pattern here on Unity. And I'm on the hourly. Don't worry about all the moving averages and stuff. Just look at the general pattern that we have here. And this is the hourly once again. And we've got that sell-off, but we're hitting that resistance. Same exact thing that's happened with Palantir. Right at the levels. I didn't draw these today. This is before. I did this with you guys. And we're hitting those levels of resistance. So what I'm saying is if the buyers could show us they can get us over those levels again, we're in bull country. If you're should I hold SBucks? My expiration date is 9/17. You didn't say what percent you're up. You left it out. With those, I say take your profits. Take your profits. We know how to, on this show, on Get Technical, we know how to buy the dip. All right? No one buys the dip like we do. All right? We will always find more. Antonio, these beats are by T-Pain. A lot of people hate on T-Pain for whatever reason. But he's a Twitch streamer, and he created a massive playlist of royalty-free music so that streamers can play stuff without getting copyright strikes. That includes the Spice Girls song. So you can thank T-Pain. He actually helped us in the process of we rented a white van, and then we pulled up to the Spice World headquarters in the UK, and we got them all in the van. We said there was money in there. We said there's a bunch of money in this van. Hey, we're going there. And all the Spice Girls got in, and then we shipped them over, and now we got them in our server room over at Benzinga, so that when this video gets to 100 likes, guys, then we bring the Spice Girls out from the server room at Benzinga, and we allow them, we give them snacks and stuff like that, and then we play their hits. So just remember, guys, like this video and take a minute to subscribe. And you get the Spice Girls.
How old do you think T-Pain is?
I got a feeling that he's probably a Gen Xer.
What does that mean?
That like he's probably like 40. T-Pain age 36. Oh, dude's like a couple years older than me.
Yeah, it was like shocking. A couple years people were talking about it. And when he put out like bartender and buy you a drink like 15 years ago, he was like 20. So I always thought he was older. And then it was like, wait, T-Pain's just now. Yeah, people are guessing like 40s, but he's young.
Yeah, I think he's extremely talented. I mean, these beats are amazing. The Spice Girls remix is on this one. Yes, he's awesome. This playlist is amazing. It's called the Pizzle
Pack.
If you guys want the official Get Technical playlist, it is called the Pizzle Pack. You can get it on SoundCloud, and that's just what we cycle through while we do the show. But yeah, guys, holding up on the VWAP on Palantir, looking like a dip buy opportunity as long as the bulls show us they can get over this level. We want to see it. And then looking at Unity, I'm a Unity guy. Look at us. All right. This is the pullback situation. This is our first pullback on our run. We didn't get a secondary gap or a second gap. All right. We're looking at the hourly. We didn't get another gap to make this look like an exhaustion situation. So the fact that we're holding this level, which let me just draw a line here, which is probably right on this shelf. No, it's not. Draw a horizontal line. Let's see where that shows up in the past. Yes, previous resistance, guys. Previous resistance here. As long as we can hold this level and perhaps get either like a little double bottom, which would be like one of these, or just a V-shaped reversal, which would be like this. Yeah, I'm just treating this like a regular old pullback, following an accumulation phase and going into a markup phase, and riding this sucker all the way up to Fibonacci, climbing up the Fibonacci like a sea bass returning to spawn over a waterfall. All right. So if you're a sea bass, if you're feeling like a sea bass on Unity and some of these other stocks that are in these accumulation phases with these broad bases, give me a 1 in the chat if you're feeling like a sea bass today. Wait, is it a bass that does that? No, salmon. Salmon does that. If you're feeling like a salmon, give me a 1 in chat. What patterns are we looking at today to find bottoms? A lot of the ones that we have talked about, guys, we don't need to go out and find new stocks to make money. All right. We've got a list of stocks we've already been looking at that are in play, that are setting up for big daddy moves. All right. That's the name of my apparel brand that I'm about to launch. Big Daddy Moves. With producer AB. We're partners on that. But yeah, so what patterns are we looking at today to find bottoms? My friend CR, if that's your real name, it's just broad basis. So right here, if we look at the daily and the weekly, you can make a very, very good case for a clear, if I hide some of these moving averages, just head and shoulders reversal, baby. All right, head and shoulders reversal up to the neckline. Getting you at least to this Fibonacci level at 155. Unity getting to 155. Let me stamp it. Where's my thing? And that's just the way it is. So that's why it's in there. Craft, interesting. I learn more about you every stream. Yes, think salmon. Think salmon.
I heard they actually have salmon fishing up here in Michigan.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the most fishing I ever did was ice fishing when I was like really young, and we had a butane heater in our shanty. We were like on the ice in like a wooden shanty with a big hole in the middle, and I was standing there with a spear. I was like a little kid, and I had a one-piece snowsuit on. I was that little, like I had those like one of those one-piecers, and I was just waiting for a pike to come by, and I was going to spear it. And then my hands were getting really frozen and cold, so I was putting them next to the butane thing, and then my whole snowsuit started lighting on fire. So it turns out that in the 90s, those snowsuit things were very flammable.
Really?
Yeah, and I just lit up like a Christmas tree. So my dad grabbed me by like he just grabbed the back of the suit and then dunked me in the water.
So you were a little chilly after that?
It happened so fast. He dunked me in the water, and then we went back to the house.
Yeah.
I was a little bit chilly after that.
That's crazy.
I didn't know what the hell happened to me.
That's quick thinking by your pops there. Shout out Mr. Hamilton.
And if you guys are wondering, no, I never caught a fish. That's where I learned. I'm a survivor. I learned that from my dad. All right, guys. So there you go. So Unity's won. We're still watching. I'm in it. Hymns. Let's take a look at hymns. This one, Jake was talking about looking a little bit risky today, but he made a really good bet on it. So he kind of called the bottom. I want to see some more consolidation there on hymns. What was another good one? Bloom Energy, are you giving it to us? Bloom Energy is being a little cranky with us. Giving us a hard time here.
Well, let's check in on BTU. We've talked about that on the show a couple times. Peabody Energy still in a strong uptrend.
What? That's what we like to see. That is what we.
Yeah, our guest today, Chris Capri, actually pointed this one out a few months ago. Maybe we can ask him about BTU, see if he's still watching it. But yeah, Neal, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of watching some value stocks today because I think if we see some more uncertainty, we'll call it, in geopolitical things going on around the world, I think growth becomes a little bit more. We've talked about this before, that growth is what's going to get hit first. It's what will get hit hardest. So to me, a couple of value plays have been looking enticing.
I think you make very, very good points there. Let's take a look. When did
I can't remember exactly, which is why we have to ask him about it.
I just got an alert. Hold on. Palantir. So Palantir is hitting support is probably what that was. But you know what, man? The geopolitics thing really screws up a lot of it's really screwed up my trading. Yeah, that is an issue. All right, Alex. Yeah, we can look at LCID. Actually, I want to answer this question really quick. Toronto, Neal, you only go in with options positions? No, for a lot of these that are like accumulating like this, I want these to print money for me over the long term. So like ABMB, for example, there are a lot of things working against the Delta variant as an example. And we're already starting to see like leading indicators of more shutdowns. We're back to like the highest recorded cases of COVID once again. Everybody's masking up, gyms are getting shut down. So that's going to work against Airbnb, which of course is, a reopening play. But it did really well during COVID, and the structure is beautiful. I'll get rid of my Bollinger Band here so you can see a little bit more clearly. The structure is just like ideal. It is getting some rejection here. But with stuff like these, like Unity and so forth, Palantir, I'm just buying and adding in. So I'm scaling in. I like to buy options when I know when I see a consolidation pattern and expect a breakout, or when I expect a bounce. So like the Airbnb options would have been like here when I saw the V-shaped reversal, or here when I saw a V-shaped reversal, or if I saw the flag. That's my options. And then when I have time during meetings and shit like that, then I'm looking at 10-minute charts and then scalping the weekly options. So getting in and out of positions, like not holding it for like more than like 2 hours, something like that. That's something that takes a lot of attention, and I know that I, unlike a lot of you guys, work for a living. So I'm really busy for the day, and a lot of times when I try to do that during the day, I miss it, and then I'll just miss opportunities to make money and close my position. All right, we're gonna look at Lucid. Guys, what kind of car should I buy? Just decided I'm gonna buy a car. Let me know in chat what kind of car I should get. Options, it has to be under $3,000 only.
Oh, you know what we should do? We should buy you like an old passenger van and deck it out and make it something you could live in.
You think that's me?
Well, it'd be nice to have as an option,
Yeah, it would be. I like those. I would like an electric Volkswagen van, like the classic, VW van, converted to a live-in, and I move out of my apartment. Under 3K, you need to be a mechanic. I have YouTube. Lucid Motors with the Head and Shoulders, a little bit freaky right here. I'm not really liking it, and it's also breaking out down past this neckline. I'm hands off on Lucid. We already looked at this one. I'm hands off on it. All right, so who's up next? A Lamborghini. Could do that. You think that's my style? What color Lamborghini do you think I get? Do you think I get a red one or yellow? Do you see me driving a Lamborghini? I get out with my basketball shorts and my black t-shirt. Hey guys. Any of you guys play Minecraft? I don't know. Yeah, that's what I would do. I want something I can just travel around and rock climb in. Yeah, Victor, that's probably the most sensible idea is just get a used Toyota or something like that.
I did that in college, and then I tried to do it recently, and it was so hard to find a used car, like in my price range, that I ended up having to lease a new car. So now I don't even own anything. I just have a car for 3 years that I have to pay off monthly, but, it's fun.
Yeah, Palantir just broke 24. Yeah, I got an alert on that. Got my young alert on that. Let's go down to the hourly. Palantir is looking like a dip buy situation for me, my friends. You're going to get resistance, of course, right here, straight up ahead. I'm liking Palantir. All right. Didn't Kathy Wood just add a bunch of Palantir?
She did. She did last week when earnings came out.
I text Scott, my broker. There you go, PLTR. All right, show me you can do it, Palantir. All right, Christopher, you said the magic words. Knew I was, you know what I'm missing. Jeez, dude. Wait, Cooler? Oh, Cooler. Okay, wait, I know these guys. All right, so the VWAP is your support. So I got the VWAP set to anchor to the monthly, the beginning of the month. That's where you want to be with this one. And that's going to show you your support level. Don't want to break down past that. This could be a dip buy situation, but we've got. This one real quick. Oh, okay. I want to make sure I can hear it like the same way you guys can. There we go. So we're looking at a Cooler downward trend. Reversal. I'm using the candle bodies. So with these really low price stocks, the wicks get a little crazy sometimes. So you can sometimes just use the bodies to cut noise out. Bring this sucker all the way back. And you can see this is some clear support. All right. This was great. This is a nice looking V. We're on the 1 day. So if I break that down, I bet that looks even nicer up close under the microscope. Yeah, so this thing looks like it's broken out of a downward trend. It's getting a little bit of a pullback. You're going to want to see it break above some key levels for an entry. Okay, I have no reason to believe this would bounce right now because it has already hit what would be the price target from this rounding bottom. All right, so let me go down to 1 hour. Of course, it's spotty, yaddy, yaddy. All right, so I'm not going to go down to 1 hour. I'm just going to keep it to a day. I'm going to draw the neckline right here. So let's look at what happened here. So we had our nice little rounding bottom reversal out of the downward trend, which I drew here with the red arrow, which I'll make a different color so you can see it more clearly. Purple arrow. Downward trend. And then we got the young breakout, or the young reversal. Whoops. Jeez Louise. What the heck? Delete this thing. Got the young reversal. Now we're going to measure from the low point to the neckline with our ruler tool. Can you guys see that? So you can see that from this rounding bottom reversal on the daily chart on Coolers, KULR, that we reversed out, and then when we measure the pattern's target, we've hit it exactly. So that's going to be, whoops. I'll draw this up here again from the low point to the midpoint, which is this neckline. So we've hit it, and now we're pulling back. We're holding support at the neckline. So actually, with that said, my friend, what was previously resistance is showing that it can be support right now. So if we break it down to an hour, this is spotty yaddy yaddy, but you could be looking at this as a dip buy opportunity to return to at least the previous target that you set, or at least the high that it got to. I don't see what you would stand to gain there. Not bad. Actually, not bad. Like 6% on a nice little day trade. Cooler's my big swing for September. Cool. Cool. You just asked me if I have a dog. You guys know? Were you not here for the saga of the plant? You think I can have a dog? Dude, I can't raise a cactus. CLX. Get Clorox. Whoa, this is some stuff we did a long time ago.
Wait, what is STFC and what happened with that chart?
Why would you start a new stock when I just opened one up, Aaron?
Oh, Clorox.
Can I ask you that?
Yeah, Clorox makes the wipes disinfected.
Yep. All right. So, I mean, you got a reversal here, my friend, with a gap to close. Come on. I think this looks nice. Pull out our Fibonacci tool. Lining up quite well with these key levels, this support here. Draw a line so we don't forget it once I get rid of my Fibonacci retracement. Let's draw pivots in. So I'm going to remove my Fibonacci retracement now that I've marked that sort of key level. I'm going to mark the next key level too, which is also resistance during this downward trend. This looks like a nice stock to trade, depending on your style, of course. There's not one. I don't think I'll enter this. I really like the ones that I'm in right now, and I'm just going to kind of try to focus on them. All right. So Clorox. What was I about to do? Oh yeah. Let's turn on our pivots. Let's turn on our pivots. Yeah. So watch your pivots. You can target quite easily and reasonably 174 right here, which is going to line up with this upcoming resistance level during this little consolidation phase. But guys, that is enough from your boy Neal. We have the man, the myth, and some might say old wives' tale, Chris Capri. Little subversion of expectations, guys. I've been studying comedy. Chris, how's it going, man?
What is happening, man?
Oh,
boys, girls, everyone.
That's right. Not a lot. We were just looking at. I'm interested in your opinion on this. I've been looking at some broad bases on a few names. One that you and I have talked about quite a lot is Airbnb for one. We've got a couple external factors coming into play, and I just want to off the top get your thoughts on both. And I'm going to start with the new one, which is Afghanistan.
Okay.
Thought on the effect that this sort of thing, given that we're not entering, we're exiting, We're ending spending. It's a unique but also very familiar thing that's happening right now. What is your take on how that might affect growth in other sectors?
Yeah, well, the real question is, from a stock perspective, I think there's twin issues that we have to examine. One, what kind of risk-off effect is this going to create in the market? It's clear there's been a risk-off effect in the markets, from Asia to Europe to, let me start sharing my screen so I can show you kind of what I'm seeing here. You can see it from Asia markets down, European markets down, US markets down. These aren't gangster amounts that they're down 0.5%, 0.6%, 0.14%, but there clearly was a risk-off theme in the markets. So I think the first thing we have to address is what kind of risk-off effects and how long is this going to last? I was talking about this with my members today. To be honest, I don't think the risk-off effects are going to be that long. I could see it maybe go until Tuesday or Wednesday, but I think by the end of the week, those risk-off effects are gone and the markets are going to get back to doing markets. So that's, from an overall risk-off perspective, that's what I see happening. You have to be asking yourself, who are the stocks that benefited the most from us being in Afghanistan, from us being in these kind of, war-like situations where we have huge U.S. military presence abroad? And are they going to be affected by that? So you have to look at, your Raytheons, your Lockheed Martins. You have to look at your defense contractors and see, is this the first sign in a trend of us reducing military presence in other areas? I don't want to get too much into the political aspects of it because I'm here to talk trading. But if you think about it, we've been in this country for 20 years. And you've heard a lot of military people say, oh, just 3 more months, 3 more months, 3 more months. If we haven't gotten the job done in 20 years, 3 more months isn't going to do anything. And so from my experience, like if you think about it like this, if you spent 20 years building your house and it's still on a really shaky foundation to the point where it's going to collapse within days, 3 months isn't going to do anything. And so I look at that and I feel like, okay, I think it was a good decision overall. There's tragedy on it, no doubt about it. There's definitely some downside to this, but I think it's a net positive for us. So what happens to defense contractors today? If you're seeing them see a big sell-off on the day, then that's kind of telling you that short-term they may take a hit. But if we don't start changing our U.S. military presence abroad, other than this one situation, then I think the hit to them will be minimal. It will be contained over a short period of time, and then they will go back to doing what they do. And so, that's kind of what I'm looking off. My main concern is what kind of risk off could this spark further selling in the markets? And that's not what we're seeing in the S&P 500. You look at the SPYs, pre-market, they were down, a little bit of impulsive selling, but they started finding a base. And a lot of the options market was showing that, hey, don't expect a big move in SPYs today. The volatility is not there. Positive gamma environment means lower volatility. And since we're in an uptrend, eventually the market got to a point where it just couldn't really get past that. Probably some dealer hedging at this point, no longer for need for dealers to get short. And all of a sudden you see the strongest move on the day is to the upside. So, I look at that as okay, yeah, we've had limited effects. Expect maybe a couple more days of this, but I think by Friday or Monday next week, the risk off effects will be done.
All right, great. And yeah, just a reminder for chat, guys. None of this is political commentary, and we don't want to have political commentary in the chat. We're simply talking about how external events affect financial markets.
Exactly.
So yeah, let's use the time efficiently, guys, and be fair to your fellow chatters. Like and subscribe. So what about the variant, the Delta variant, on stocks that we like Airbnb? Any take on how investor sentiment or anything like that may be changing, or what have you seen?
I think the real play on Airbnb is to look at it from a long-term perspective. Does Airbnb have a sound business? Yes. Do they have a disruptive position in the market? Yes. Are they taking market share from the current incumbents? Yes. And so as long as you're willing to look at Airbnb from a long-term perspective, then the short-term moves right now will be relatively minor. I think anywhere between 145 and 131, Airbnb is a fantastic long-term buy. In terms of the short-term effects, Delta variant is a real thing. There's no doubt about it. I am someone who's kind of like a scientist in training. So I have a degree in neuroscience. I am going to be going back to graduate school for my master's or maybe PhD in neuroscience. And as someone who looks at the science, the Delta variant is a real thing. And I think we still could see more upside in terms of the Delta variant gaining ground globally. So that is still an issue. Is that going to have a short-term dip and effect on Airbnb? Possibly. It's going to affect travel for sure. It's going to affect bookings for sure. There's going to be some risk in that. And in some sense, I think that's a healthy thing for Airbnb because then that brings the price down a little bit. And now we start getting into a juicy buy zone on Airbnb. I'm long-term bullish on Airbnb. I don't think the Delta variant is going to destroy the gains that they've made in disrupting the business and taking market share from the incumbents and being in a good position to profit from this situation, medium to long term. I don't think the Delta variant is just going to wipe all that out. So I'm okay with the short-term potential downside on that because I look at Airbnb from a long-term perspective.
All right, there you go. So those are the only questions I have for you today. What are you looking at today?
Okay, so I'm expecting SPYs to continue to gain a little bit of ground. Because of that, we've shorted VIX. I shorted VIX. We were long SPYs earlier today. We bought SPYs right around 443.80 and then took a little bit of profit here. I wish I captured a little bit more of the upside, but I didn't want to hold this through New York lunch. And so I got my little profit out. But I felt like the better one is in the VIX. I think VIX is going to, we had a little bit of spike from the risk off, but was this something that continued on the open? No. There wasn't continued buying on the open in VIX. In fact, you see it, hits the 1760, hits it, pulls back, hits it again, aggressive selling. That tells me that really there wasn't enough fuel, not only from an interest perspective, from like an open interest perspective, but the market just really didn't feel like VIX had enough gusto to just keep going. And it's sold off ever since. So I've shorted VIX on the break of this kind of pullback right here. Sorry about that alert. And so I've shorted it just below 17. I'm going to probably hold this for a couple days. I've done to the end of the week options, so my theta will be minimum, but I'd like to see VIX return to 1550 if I can. So as soon as I can get it back down to the gap, fill that gap, then I'll probably take some profit. Ideally, I can do it by today or worst case tomorrow, by tomorrow. I am looking at LAC. A lot of people are long-term bullish on LAC, but when I look at the options positioning LAC, I see about over half the options out there in the market rolling off this Friday. And with the market long calls by a long shot, there's about 100,000 calls in the market and only 15,000 puts. Doesn't matter any way you slice that. Even if they're selling a huge portion of that calls, the bottom line is the market is still long calls. Like you have 15,000 puts, you have 15% of the puts out there compared to the calls. So the market's long calls. They're going to get monetized. And what did we see from LAC? We saw that as it got to the 20, it really just couldn't hold there. And so regardless of the market being long calls by a margin of roughly 4 or 5 to 1, the 20 was just too much. What do you see? Impulsive, corrective, impulsive. A little bit of a rally that stalled at 18 and now selling. So when I look at this, I feel like LAC is a good short at 18. Maybe get long puts at that point. Try and play this to the end of the week because as we go later and later in the week, those long calls that are expiring this Friday are going to get monetized. And that will reduce some of the upside fuel or support in the market and thus get a little bit of a pullback. So I'd like to get at least a move from 18 to 17. I think there is, if we could get a break of 1674, then I think there's room for 1588 and potentially a room down to like 1530s, 1520s at that point. So I'm looking to get long puts on a pullback on LAC. Now, thanks to your awesome earnings calendar that you guys publish on Tuesday, or you publish on the weekends. I love this earnings calendar. Two of the earnings that I'm really watching are Walmart. I am watching Home Depot, but the biggest ones I think of the week are going to be Walmart and Target. Mm-hmm. So Target has been taking market share from Walmart and Amazon as they continue to build their online presence. We're seeing this in the numbers. And I do recall you asking me about 8 weeks ago, if I had to hold one stock for the rest of the year, which one would it be? And which one did I say?
Target.
Yes. Yes. And I would like to say that Target is up about 10% since then.
Full
And I think
disclosure,
it's
I'm in Target too.
Okay. So we're both long Target. I'm long Target via stock and options. I think Target's going to have a strong earnings, and you may get a little bit of fluctuation, but from what I'm seeing in the option positioning, unless we get some really bad earnings, Target is supported between this kind of 255 and kind of 258.5 area. So I would like to buy another dip or add basically on a dip into this area again and get long calls. I think there's a couple ways to play the long calls. You can play long calls outright, or you can do long bull call spread. To reduce some of the premium, I would suggest instead of playing, expiries this week, play a long-term game on this one. 1 month out, 2 months out, 3 months out. So I would say, maybe if you want to spread it out, maybe do a 1 month, look for a September OPEX play, and then look to play a long target position for the rest of the year. If you were to ask me right now, do I want to hold target stock based on the current price to the end of the year? I'd say yes. I would say yes. So I like being long target, and I would like to see a little bit of a dip going into earnings and then buy that dip and then hold target for, pretty much the end of the year, because I think there's a lot more upside. I think target is probably going to close between 275 and 280. And when I look at the option positioning, I don't really see the dealers or market makers needing to hedge until we get to about 300. So for me, there's definitely some fuel. If we can clear 268, 270, then there's room for this to really make a nice run to 275, 280 plus. It will be a grind beyond 280, but I think there's room for it to go from 280 to 300, assuming earnings this quarter and next quarter come out strong. So I'm long target, buy stock and options, and I will add to that position most likely. They would have to have disastrous earnings for me to not want to add. The other one I like is Walmart. I think even though Walmart has been losing a little bit of share to Target, I feel like they are still in a strong position for the rest of the year. My one concern with Walmart is this. We are approaching that yearly high, and as you can see, the all-time high. So unless it's a gangster earnings report, what I see happening is this pushing into this. Some traders that have been long since 130, 135, 142, I can see them taking some profit, around the 153, around these all-time highs. So if it's not just an uber gangster earnings that's super bullish, I think you'll get some pullback from this, and I think the pullback is the best opportunity. I'd love to accumulate Walmart at 145. That's my premier location to get some longs on that. If I can't get that, I'll look towards the monthly VWAP around 148 and maybe take a light position around 150. I think it hits this, pulls back a little bit, and I think it continues to build pressure on this over the next days and weeks, and probably within a month, we'll break out of this. And I see Walmart closing around 170, 175. And when I look at the options universe, I really don't see the dealers needing to hedge until 170, 180 on this one here. So I like being long on this on a little bit of a dip. And so that's pretty much what I'm looking at right now. So we could do 10 minutes open Q&A. You down with that?
Yeah, hit it. I'll let you take the stage while I get some more coffee. It's your show. I'm giving you a show. And then producer AB, are you here to support your friend? Yeah, good stuff as always from the youth. It's the Zoomers. I have a theory on why Zoomers just aren't the same as the millennials. I'll talk. We can talk about it later. All right, I'm gonna get some coffee. Be right back, guys.
Cool.
Sorry about that.
It's all good, AB.
I was just gonna say I brought it up on the show earlier, but I was wondering if we could do a check back in on BTU, Peabody Energy. I know that's one that you mentioned on the show a while ago. I don't know if you remember exactly what price it was at when you brought it up, but it's been in a very strong uptrend. And yeah, it looks interesting.
Okay, let's take a look at BTU. See what's going on in the options world right now. Wow, still strong. There's nothing. I don't see any change in the momentum. In fact, we've just cleared. I mean, assuming we close above this, we have the breakout right here. And you can tell this was kind of this was the key breakout level because we kept getting rejections at the same level, and you see the rejections getting weaker. And when you see rejections getting weaker, that means that the selling force, the volume, the size is getting less and less. People who are stubborn will keep selling that. People who are smart that we're selling at will get out of the way and maybe flip to long. And so what happens? The market breaks it, comes back, and takes off. Since then, we formed this impulsive and corrective structure, and now we're breaking out of it. It's just going from strength to strength. So when I look at that, structure looks good. It does have a fair amount of options rolling off this Friday. Around half of the gamma out there is rolling off this Friday. So I can see this stalling a little bit as we get later and later in the week. People are long calls, and the market is long calls. You have about 62,000 calls out there and roughly 45,000 puts out there. Obviously, all those calls are not long calls. Some are short, and obviously some of those puts are not long puts. They could be short. But the bottom line is, on balance, the market is net long. So when I look at that, I feel like there could be some monetization fuel coming Wednesday, Thursday. So while I think it's a good strategy to be long early in the week, as you start getting to Tuesday, Wednesday, if you start to see this stall, maybe take some profits, let this pull out back a little bit, and then look to get long again. Where do I want to get long? I like 12.5, 12.75. I think that's a great area to get long. So keep staying bullish on it. Nothing's changed in the structure. Nothing's changed in the order flow from the options or the stock market. Just watch the option expiry going on this Friday. Look for a little bit of a pullback and then look to take advantage of that.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you. I mean, this one's been on my watch list since you brought it up on the show. Again, I don't remember exactly when it was or what the price was at when you brought it up. But definitely some strength there. All right, let's get to the chat. Let's see what people are throwing out there. I see a couple coin cranky buzzards asking for a coin trend. I was actually surprised we didn't see Coinbase trading higher today after with the crypto markets being so strong throughout the weekend.
Yeah, so Coinbase, kind of interesting. It's diverging from the market as a whole, and I think part of the reason has to do with option positioning. We have, roughly 250,000 calls out there in the market and 184,000, 185,000 puts. I think overall people want to be bullish on coin. But we do have roughly a third of those options, a third of the gamma out there in the market rolling off this Friday. So when I look at Coinbase, strong earnings, but the price action is telling a different tale. We had a resistance, brief spike above it, impulsive selling, corrective into that, and impulsive selling. I feel like Coinbase right now, I would look to sell this. If we happen to get a pull back into 266, 265, I would sell that. I think it's going to probably weaken as the week goes on. From a long-term perspective, I have mixed feelings about Coinbase. Part of the biggest problem with Coinbase is that it wasn't an IPO. It was a direct listing. Direct listings are really just opportunities for the executives to cash out. And if you look at the Coinbase IPO, it coincides perfectly with the top in Bitcoin. I don't think that's a coincidence. So I think that, the executives cashed out a lot of shares. They voted with their money. They sold a lot of shares. They took profits. God bless them. They have every right to do that. They've been working hard at Coinbase to legitimize and democratize crypto. With that being said, is there a place where I would want to get long Coinbase? Yeah, I am not confident at the current levels. When I look at option positioning, I feel like the closer I can get to 210, 220, the better I feel about it. Basically, what we've seen with Coinbase is, how many weeks has this been live? What is this? Since April, so you got about 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 weeks. How many weeks has this been able to close bullish? 6 out of 20. So what we're seeing from the institutions and the overall order flow in the market, it's definitely not a question of retail interest. What we're seeing from the institutional players is they're saying, you know what? Only 6 out of 20 weeks has this been worth being bought up. We are not really that interested. Where are we interested in feeling that Coinbase is of fair value? Here. That's it. That's what I see. So I don't think you can say hey, let's use Coinbase as a proxy for the crypto market, because it's slightly different than that. It's not a pure, like bit mining, like a Mara type corporation or something like that. Its focus is it's a brokerage. And so where the institution showing they want interest, 230, 220, 210. At 280, it's expensive. At 300, not worth it. If it was, they would have kept the value there. So that's what I see in Coinbase right now. I'm not ready to get long. Short term, I'll play to the short side. As we start to get into this 230, 220, 210, I'm interested.
Yeah, and you make a good point. I mean, Mara and Riot are both up today, albeit slightly, not very much, but Coinbase obviously down, so definitely not trading with the overall crypto market. Let's see. Akash is asking for Microsoft. I don't know if we have anything going on with Microsoft right now. Let's see.
Earnings for a while, but I like being bullish on Microsoft. We had a bull spread on this, and I let it go too early. We bought like 250, 270s. And we definitely let it go a little bit too early. We had a ratio spread on this one here. So let's look at the option universe real quick. I like being long Microsoft. If it dips 10 or 20%, I'll gladly buy it. I do think we are starting to get into a little bit of resistance. In the options world, you have roughly 1.4 million calls and 1.3 million puts, so relatively balanced. But we don't have a lot of options rolling off this OPEX this Friday for August. The majority of Gamma is rolling off in September. So people are playing a little bit more long-term. When I say long-term, they're not trading like weeklies on Microsoft. The market is playing long-term on Microsoft. They're thinking September, October, November. The largest Delta strike out there, combined Delta strike, is January 22. So people are looking long-term on Microsoft. So I want to buy dips on Microsoft, but we're getting into rich territory. I think at best it makes it to 300 this week. And then I think we see a pullback at that point. So where would I want to get long? Where would I feel really good about getting long? 260. I think 263 is the juiciest. If you're darn lucky to get 263 this year, take it and hold it for a while. I think it's going to be a strong position. I'll add a little bit of size around 279, 280. I don't feel like playing the short game on this 284, 285, because Microsoft isn't a ripper per se. It's not something that, if you're lucky, you catch a week like this, 278 to 289, you get $11. But most of the weeks, it's $4, $5, $6. So I feel like add a little bit of size around 280 and keep the majority of your size around 263 on this one here. If I have to suspect, is Microsoft going to close above 300 this year? Unless we get a major risk off in the markets, I think yes.
Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I love Microsoft right now too, because they are basically the only competitor to Amazon when it comes to cloud-based storage and whatnot. Mr. Neal, drinking some water.
No coffee? Okay, he's staying quiet. One thing I would like to say about the cloud computing that I think is so important to understand. So Amazon Marketplace, it's a beast of a business. It's global. They make oodles in terms of gross revenues off of their Amazon Marketplace. But, you're talking hundreds of billions of dollars that it makes per year on their marketplace. But what's their net profit after all of it? It's around about 25 billion a year. So maybe even if they're lucky, 20 billion, sometimes 15 billion. The Amazon cloud space makes as much profit for 1/4 the gross revenue. So it's higher margins in their AWS space for Amazon. That's why Jeff Bezos was pushing so hard to get that cloud contract, because he understood that the margins on their AWS is far bigger than their margins on their marketplace. They use their margins and their edge and their competitiveness to take the smallest margins from everybody out there, which means they don't have a big margin when it comes to marketplace. But in terms of cloud, Microsoft is the only one out there who can give them a run for their money. I don't think we can underestimate the effects of that long term. So that's a great business to be in.
Beautiful. Yeah, we don't touch on the fundamentals a lot here on this show, but when they sneak in, they sneak in.
One thing I would like to, there was one last question. I got 2 minutes. Can I answer it in 1 minute, boys? Are you good with that?
Yes, Chris.
Okay. There there was a gent in here who said, hey, I lost all my money. I think it was X4 or Xalox or whatever his name is. He said, hey, I lost all my money on stocks, options, spreads on AHT. What now? So the answer to that question, what now, is it's important to never, ever go all in on a particular stock. You don't have any control over the market, and all it takes is one bad plan that for you to lose your money and you're out of the game. So the answer is there's two things in terms of what now. One, you need to regroup your finances and build a buffer to where that you can have some discretionary capital to reinvest in the markets. But the most important thing is that you learn from this. You never put all your money into one stock. You diversify, you take a little bit of plays here and there. Warren Buffett secretly and very quietly said in his 2013 Berkshire address, he said, you know what? We bought 500 stocks over the last 60 plus years. Only 8 or 10 of them have been outperformers, like really gangster outperformers. So they bought 500 stocks. Only 8 or 10 have been outperformers. That's less than, it's not even 10%. That's like 2.5%, 3%, basically. So what are we talking about here? You're not going to know which one of your stocks is going to be a gangster winner or loser. So the key is to take a lot of stocks and a lot of different trades that potentially have the advantage to gain and make a return on investment, so that when that 8 or 9 stocks out of 500 does land, that you're there to capture those outside returns. If you put it all in one stock, you will miss those opportunities. So be smart with risk. Never put it into one stock. Diversify and trade a lot of stocks so that eventually the ball lands on that 8 out of 500 to give you those outsized returns.
Great piece of advice to end on there, Chris. Thanks so much for being with us once again on a Monday, my friend.
Good seeing you all. Be well.
Thank you, sir. All right, guys, that is Chris Capri, Second Skies. Check him out. He wants to make sure that spyware we installed on his laptop doesn't get pictures of him in compromising situations. Understandable. So, guys, smash the like for Chris. Keep him coming every Monday, and get on over. Even if it's just following on social, just get started. Get your little toesies wet with some Second Sky stuff, because that guy's the real deal. We love and are honored to have him on the show. And producer AB just dropped the link directly to the website there in chat. So go ahead and use that, guys. Really highly recommend getting as much of that education from the man while you can. So, guys. We're kind of in a little situation here. Do you know what the situation is, Aaron?
Yeah, we're 5 likes away.
Wait, 5 likes away? I said 150.
Oh, we're 54 likes away.
Yeah, guys, we don't get 300 people viewing and then set the bar so low to let the Spice Girls out of the server room. So, guys, if you want to let the Spice Girls out of the server, and I don't think you guys can. Honestly, I don't think you guys have it in you. I think that you're all just honestly lazy.
Whoa, not this crowd. They're too good looking for that.
Well, that's it. They're good looking, so they never got challenged in life. Everyone was always nice to them and never really asked them hard questions, so they never had to develop character, is what happened to you guys. You were all too damn good looking your entire life. No one forced you to develop character, and that's why we don't have 150 likes right now, and that's why the Spice Girls are going to stay locked in the server room, and they're going to eat nothing but macaroni and cheese, lean cuisines that our developer with the red ponytail bought for them. And that's because of you guys. That's right, Bill. That's it. So if you so shit, we're at 126, 128. I don't know, guys. What I gotta say is e pluribus?
E pluribus incel.
E pluribus incel. Guys, I don't know. 128? 128?
I think we can do it, Neal. Give him one more minute. We do have Moon or Bust coming up here. Starting momentarily. But yeah, we're at 128 likes right now. If we get 22 more to 150, there will be a special treat.
Proton, that's not an excuse, all right? You get the job done. Get technical, viewers. We get the job done. All right? That's just how it is. All right? And I can't change that because that's just how that is. AB, did you take Latin in school?
Kind of. My first language is English, which derives from the Latin language. So I learned some Latin roots while doing English.
Yeah, mac and cheese is still better than celery cigarettes. It's funny because they've been asking for celery and cigarettes. They got it because ginger spice has to fit into that Union Jack dress. So we're at 142. Guys, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm gonna check on how they're doing. We just we send them. They have beepers. They don't know how to use cell phones. They just use beepers. So I'm gonna send a little beep over to them. I'm gonna page them. It's a pager, not a beeper, whatever the fuck you call it. Okay, one for the swear jar. Sorry about that. Once again, what do we do? We're gonna put the Visine in the swear jar so that I remember to not swear again because I don't carry cash because it's 2021. Are we still at 143 likes?
Yeah, and Neal, we do got to wrap up here to get over to Moon or Bust. So maybe we'll just have to. Oh look, Luke Benzinga's calling me.
All right, see what the hell he wants.
Hi, Luke. Not much. Just wrapping up Get Technical right now.
Well, guys, I don't know what to tell you. We didn't get to 150 likes. Therefore, the Spice Girls are going to eat macaroni and cheese today, and that's on your conscience. Hold on. Let me the hell out of here. Zoomer. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This has been another episode of Get Technical Monday Edition. I'm your host, Neal Hamilton. Follow me at Neal's Tweets for tarot card readings. So that's basically what we do here, guys. Big thanks to Producer AB for being Producer AB. And a huge shout out to Chris Capri, Second Skies Forex, as always, for just being a real one. No BS there, just solid education. I hope you guys have a wonderful Monday and a great week ahead. Keep watching the stocks, watching for that accumulation. I'm liking the ones that we picked. Unity, Palantir, Starbucks was a nice one. Hymns we can check back on, but you guys just watch the old episodes. We've got a good little watch list of stocks. So that's it, guys. Up next is Moon or Bust for cryptocurrency coverage from the Benzinga team. Thank you for watching Get Technical. I'm Neal Hamilton, and happy trading.